it's also very easy to get sucked into the numbers
Yeah.
when actually, like, is the content right for your audience?
Yeah.
So, like, take reach on LinkedIn in the last month or so, like, just like a stone, it just dropped off a cliff. I
Yeah.
found that really hard to deal with. I'm like, I'm putting out this post, and like, still lots of people engaging with it, but the reach is terrible. And I took that really personally, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
stupid. That's a bloody algorithm that I'm fighting. And so I think it's good to analyze your posts, but not to get too caught up in the numbers. Um, I'll look at some of my cycling videos, and the ones that haven't performed, I'll be like, okay, well, I try and understand why, but I'm not then gonna completely change my video style to
Yeah.
fit in with, an algorithm, because the algorithm is just going to change again. I'd rather make the content for
How you
me and
want it
my
to be.
audience
Yeah.
than just try and constantly chase.
Do you know, that's a really good point. Actually, I'm glad you raised, because I'm not 100% sure everyone thinks that, and I probably am equally as guilty at times of over-analyzing what stuff's done.
Mm.
But what you said is really important, because if everything you do is right, YouTube likes this or LinkedIn likes this, as soon as they change their algorithm in 6 months' time, you're a bit screwed, right?
What's the point?
Yeah.
I find it's really interesting. So, talking of like small audiences and the power of them,
Yeah.
so I would much rather have like 500 absolute obsessive fans on my email, LinkedIn, Instagram, like,
Yeah.
because I will generate revenue from that.
Yeah.
So I think I've got less than 300 people on my newsletter, and I don't promote it. It's hardly grown over the years, but it's been the most consistent deliverer of business over the years
Has
in
it
terms
really?
of like
Okay.
a platform. And I'm not selling anything on it. I'm finding videos that have inspired me. I've usually got a thought piece at the top, and it's amazing how many people will go, "Oh, I saw that." You start working with them, like, "Oh, the reason I've got in touch with you is because of this really random bit of content that
Yeah.
didn't perform, but they watched it and they really enjoyed it." And you go, so it's worked. It's done its job. It's delivered a new connection, a new customer.
I
Whereas,
will link. I will link to the to the newsletter in the show notes so people can
oh, that's
sign up.
cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's like
But
that.
you,
Sorry, I was going to say there's a story. I don't know if you've seen it about a guy who was putting out YouTube content for a year, and he had like 4 or 5 views on every video. And there's like one was his mum, and he just never knew who it was. And it turns out that one of them was Oprah Winfrey. Have you heard this
yes,
story?
yes, I have. Where did I hear that?
It might have been on a previous episode. I spoke to someone about it, and I didn't know the guy's name, and I still forget his name. Paul something. He's like a dating coach.
That wasn't on My First Million, was it? Do you listen to that podcast?
Maybe. I occasionally listen to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure I've heard that story before. Yeah, and
but
then
exactly to your point, right? You just don't know. You don't need millions of
exactly,
subscribers. You just need that engaged audience.
it's like we've been through the email addresses of like some of the webinars that we run,
Yeah,
and even when they're not brilliantly attended, like, there's some huge brands in there, and you're like, oh my goodness, like, what does that person do? They work for Nike, and then you
yeah.
find out it's like head of customer experience in the UK or something. Like, oh my god, like, so it's just, you don't know who's watching.
No.
um and so, it's hard. It feels really personal when there's not lots of likes on
Yeah.
there, but it doesn't matter really, as long as you're happy with the content that you've done. Just keep chipping away and enjoy it. Like, if you can enjoy the creation,
Yeah.
enjoy the process of writing or creating videos, or like, it's so much more enjoyable.
It's a bit of a generalist question, maybe, but do you think creators as a whole have lost that?
Some have. I see a lot of creators playing the game.
Yeah.
So having that kind of, I don't want to use ADHD in the wrong way, but that kind of like instant gratification, very fast editing, bang bang bang, here's all the information type videos,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh god, it's an assault on the senses.
Yeah.
But those videos work because they're
Retention, right?
they're yeah. But I'm like, oh, I don't want to make those videos, and so I'd much rather make a really great video that had less views, but I was just really proud of. And I
Do
see a
you
lot of creators going down that road of going, oh, how do I, you've got to have a hook in the first 2 seconds. I'm like, do you?